The house was silent. Wrapped in the stillness of night, I heard soft footsteps approaching. I froze, expecting my mother, but when I turned, it was him, my stepfather, his eyes dark and intense, filled with something I hadn't seen before. The tension between us, always lingering, finally snapped as he stepped closer, his breath warm against my skin. "We shouldn't be doing this," he whispered, his voice thick with desire, but neither of us moved away. In that moment, I knew everything was about to change, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to stop it. It was late, far too late for anyone to be awake. The house was silent, the only sound coming from the soft hum of the air conditioner and the occasional creak of the wooden floorboards settling in the night. My mother had gone to bed hours ago, her light snoring drifting faintly down the hallway, leaving the house wrapped in a quiet stillness. I had tried to sleep, but my mind was racing, thoughts swirling that I couldn't seem to settle. So, instead of lying in the dark, tossing and turning, I had slipped downstairs, hoping a glass of water might help calm my restless mind. I had been living with my mother and stepfather for over a year now. It had been awkward at first, adjusting to a new man in the house, a new presence in our lives. He was kind, though, always polite and respectful. But there had always been something else there, something unspoken that lingered in the air whenever we were in the same room. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, a product of the strange newness of the situation. But over time, I couldn't ignore it. There was a tension between us, something that simmered beneath the surface, just out of reach but always present. Tonight, that tension felt more palpable than ever. Maybe it was the late hour, the quiet darkness of the house, or maybe it was simply that I was alone with my thoughts. Whatever it was, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was about to happen, that the tension that had been building for months was about to come to a head. As I stood in the kitchen drinking my glass of water, I heard the soft creak of the stairs behind me. My heart jumped into my throat, and I quickly set the glass down, turning around to see who it was. There, standing at the bottom of the stairs, was my stepfather. He was wearing a simple t-shirt and pajama pants, his hair slightly tousled as if he had just woken up, but his eyes were wide awake, focused intently on me. "I didn't mean to startle you," he said quietly, his voice low and calm as he stepped into the kitchen. "I just couldn't sleep." I nodded, trying to keep my voice steady. "Me neither. I thought maybe some water would help." He stepped closer, his movements slow and deliberate, and I could feel the tension in the air between us thickening with every step he took. The dim light from the kitchen cast shadows across his face, highlighting the strong lines of his jaw, the intensity in his eyes. There was something different about him tonight. Something more raw. His usual calm and polite demeanor had slipped away, replaced by something darker, something more dangerous. "You know, I've noticed," he said quietly, his voice almost a whisper now as he stopped just a few feet away from me. "You've been different lately." My heart was racing, my palms suddenly sweaty as I tried to understand what he meant. "Different? What do you mean?" He looked at me for a long moment, his gaze unwavering, the air between us growing thicker, heavier. "You're not a little girl anymore," he murmured, his eyes trailing slowly down my body before meeting mine again. "I've seen the way you look at me." I swallowed hard, my breath catching in my throat. I didn't know how to respond to that. Had I been that obvious? I had tried so hard to keep my feelings hidden, to push them away. But now, with him standing so close, his presence overwhelming, I couldn't deny it any longer. There had been moments, fleeting glances, lingering touches, things that shouldn't have meant anything but somehow did. I don't know what you're talking about," I stammered, though my voice lacked any real conviction. I could feel the heat rising to my cheeks. He took another step closer, his body mere inches from mine now, and I could feel the heat radiating off him, making the air between us feel stifling, suffocating. His hand reached out, brushing lightly against my arm, the contact sending a jolt of electricity through me. I froze, unsure of what to do, what to say, but I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. "I think you know exactly what I'm talking about," he whispered, his fingers trailing lightly up my arm, leaving a burning sensation in their wake. "I've seen the way you look at me when you think I'm not watching. I've felt the way you react when I'm close to you." My body trembled under his touch, my mind racing with 1,000 thoughts, all of them conflicting, all of them confused. I knew this was wrong. I knew that. But there was something about the way he was looking at me, something about the intensity in his voice that made it impossible to pull away. His hand slid from my arm to the small of my back, pulling me slightly closer, and I felt my breath hitch in my throat. "We can't," I whispered, my voice barely audible, trembling as I tried to speak. "My mom, she's asleep," he cut in softly, his other hand coming up to gently cup my cheek, his thumb brushing lightly over my skin. "She won't know. No one will know." A mixture of fear and excitement rushing through me all at once. I should have stopped him, should have pushed him away, but I couldn't. The weight of his hand on my back, the warmth of his body so close to mine, the way his thumb traced slow, deliberate circles on my cheek. It was all too much. My resistance crumbled beneath the intensity of it all, and I found myself leaning into his touch, my body betraying the thoughts racing through my mind. "I know you've thought about this," he whispered, his voice so low now that it was barely more than a breath. "I know you've wondered what it would feel like." I had. Of course I had. There had been countless nights where I had lain awake, my mind drifting to him, to the way his presence made me feel. It was wrong, so wrong. But the attraction was undeniable, the pull between us too strong to ignore. And now, with his hand on me, with his breath warm against my skin, I couldn't stop myself from wanting more. But before I could say anything, before I could make a decision one way or another, his lips were on mine. The kiss was soft at first, almost tentative, as if he was giving me the chance to pull away, to stop it before it went too far. But I didn't. I couldn't. Instead, I found myself kissing him back, my hands gripping the front of his shirt as I leaned into him, my body pressing against his. The kiss deepened, his hand sliding from my cheek to the back of my neck, pulling me closer, as if he couldn't get enough. His lips moved with a kind of urgency, a hunger that sent a rush of heat through my entire body. Every rational thought I had vanished in that moment, replaced by the overwhelming need to feel more, to have more. His other hand slid down my back, resting on my hip, pulling me against him as the kiss grew more intense, more desperate. I could feel the strength in his grip, the way his body seemed to melt into mine, and it was intoxicating. My head was spinning, my heart racing so fast I thought it might burst out of my chest, but I didn't care. All I could think about was him, the way his lips moved against mine, the way his hands felt on my skin. We broke apart for a moment, both of us breathless as we tried to catch our breath. His hand remained on the back of my neck, his fingers tangled in my hair, and I could feel his breath, warm and ragged, against my lips. "I shouldn't want this," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion, his eyes searching mine. "But I do. I can't help it." I couldn't speak. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to tell him to stop, to walk away before we went too far, but another part of me, a much larger part, wanted nothing more than to give in, to let him take me, to see where this would lead. The pull between us was too strong, the tension too thick, and I knew there was no turning back now. "I don't want you to stop," I whispered, my voice barely more than a breath. "I don't want you to stop," I whispered, my voice barely more than a breath. Those words hung in the air between us, thick with the weight of everything they meant, and I knew, in that moment, that everything was about to change. The space between us seemed to disappear, the tension that had been simmering for so long finally reaching its breaking point. He didn't wait any longer. The second those words left my lips, his hands moved to cup my face, pulling me back into another kiss, this time deeper, more urgent, filled with a need that had been kept bottled up for far too long. His lips were firm against mine, his breath hot and ragged as his hands moved from my face down to my waist, gripping me as if he was afraid I might slip away. But I wasn't going anywhere. I couldn't. I was completely lost in the moment, in him, and nothing else mattered. His hands slid lower, gripping my hips as he pulled me closer, pressing me firmly against him. I could feel every inch of him, the heat of his body seeping into mine, making my skin tingle, my heart race. His touch was possessive, almost desperate, as though he couldn't get enough of me, and I found myself craving more, needing more. I wanted him in a way I had never wanted anyone before, and the intensity of it all made my head spin. He broke the kiss, his lips moving to my neck, pressing soft, heated kisses along my skin. I gasped, my hands finding their way to his shoulders, gripping them as he kissed his way down to my collarbone, his teeth grazing my skin just enough to leave a mark. The sensation was electric, and I could feel my body responding to him in ways I couldn't control. Every touch, every kiss, every breath seemed to pull me deeper under his spell, and I couldn't fight it any longer. God, I've wanted this for so long, he murmured against my skin, his voice low and rough with desire. I've tried to fight it, but I can't anymore. I need you. His words made my pulse race even faster, and I could feel the heat pooling in my stomach, my body aching for him in a way that was impossible to ignore. My hands slid up his chest, feeling the warmth of his skin beneath his shirt, the steady thrum of his heartbeat mirroring my own. I wanted to feel more of him, to explore every inch of him, and I could feel that same urgency reflected in the way he touched me. He lifted me slightly, his hands gripping my thighs as he moved me onto the kitchen counter, the cool surface beneath me a stark contrast to the heat of his body pressing against mine. My legs instinctively wrapped around his waist, pulling him closer as his hands slid up my sides under my shirt, his touch leaving a trail of fire in its wake. I gasped as his fingers brushed against my bare skin, my body arching into him, desperate for more. He pulled back just enough to look at me, his eyes dark and filled with a raw intensity that took my breath away. "Are you sure about this?" he asked, his voice barely more than a whisper, his hands still resting on my waist, waiting for my answer. I nodded, my throat too tight to speak. I was sure. I had never been more sure of anything in my life. The way he was looking at me, the way his touch made me feel, it was overwhelming, intoxicating, and I didn't want it to stop. I wanted to see where this would lead, wanted to give in to the desire that had been building between us for so long. That was all the confirmation he needed. In one fluid motion, he pulled my shirt over my head, tossing it aside before leaning back in to kiss me again. This kiss was different, deeper, hungrier, as if he was pouring everything he had into it, as if he was trying to communicate everything he felt without words. His hands roamed over my body, exploring every inch of my skin, his touch both gentle and possessive, making my entire body hum with anticipation. My hands moved to his shirt, tugging it upwards, and he quickly shrugged it off, revealing the toned muscles of his chest and arms. I ran my hands over his bare skin, feeling the heat radiating from him, the strength in his body, and I couldn't stop the soft moan that escaped my lips. He responded with a growl, his hands gripping my hips as he pulled me closer, his lips moving to my neck, pressing hot, open-mouthed kisses against my skin. I could feel the tension building between us, the air growing thick with desire as our hands and lips moved frantically over each other. His hands slid down to my waist, his fingers brushing against the waistband of my shorts, my body trembling with anticipation. He paused for just a moment, his eyes meeting mine, silently asking for permission, for reassurance. I nodded again, my breath coming in short, shallow gasps as he slowly unbuttoned my shorts, sliding them down my legs and tossing them to the side. I was left in nothing but my underwear, and I could feel the cool air against my skin making me shiver. But the heat between us was overwhelming, and the way he was looking at me, the intensity in his gaze, made me feel completely exposed, and yet completely desired at the same time. He stepped back slightly, his eyes roaming over my body, and I could feel the weight of his gaze on me, the way he was drinking me in, taking in every inch of me. "You're beautiful," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion, and the sincerity in his words made my heart skip a beat. Before I could respond, he was on me again, his lips pressing against mine in a kiss that was more demanding, more urgent than before. His hands moved over my body, exploring every curve, every dip, as if he was memorizing the feel of me beneath his fingertips. I could feel his need, his desire, and it mirrored my own. Every touch, every kiss sent waves of pleasure through me, making my skin tingle, my body ache for more. His hands slid down to the waistband of my underwear, and I felt a thrill of anticipation rush through me as he hesitated for a moment, his breath hot against my ear. "Do you want this?" he asked, his voice barely more than a breath, his fingers teasing the edge of my underwear. "Yes," I whispered, my voice trembling with the weight of everything I was feeling. "I want this. I want you." That was all he needed to hear. In one swift motion, he slid my underwear down my legs, and I felt a rush of cool air against my skin, making me shiver. But the heat between us was undeniable, and I could feel the tension building to a breaking point as his hands moved over my body, exploring every inch of me. He leaned in, his lips brushing against my ear as he whispered, "You have no idea how long I've wanted this, how long I've wanted you." I couldn't stop the soft moan that escaped my lips as his hands moved lower, his touch sending waves of pleasure through me. My entire body was trembling, my mind spinning with the intensity of it all. Every touch, every kiss felt like a spark igniting something deep inside me, something I had been denying for far too long. We moved together in perfect sync, our bodies pressed tightly against each other, every touch, every kiss sending us spiraling deeper into a world where nothing else mattered but the two of us.